sometimes I got my trumpet guy over here, like, yeah, and the saxophone over here, and the crowd feeds off of that energy of you performing, and you as well. When you see the crowd, like, jamming out, I'm like, okay, guys, we're doing our thing, because it's not just me, it's all of us. The Empire Podcast.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Empire. You know what to do. We're here with the lovely Elvia Cadena, singer, songwriter, and so much more. Mother, of course. San Bernardino represent lady. And Elvia, welcome to The Empire.
Hey. How you doing?
Good.
Thank you for having me here today.
Oh, man. It's so a pleasure to have you. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's Thursday. I'm alive. I'm breathing.
Got you. Breathing
I'm
in this,
breathing.
this beautiful air.
Yep.
And how was your day? How's your morning been?
So far, it's been good. Took the kids to school. Now I'm out here at the Empire Podcast.
Okay.
So, it's been good so far. Lovely morning.
Yeah, and your B-Day's coming up soon, right?
The what?
Your B-Day.
Oh, yes. Tomorrow's my birthday.
Super excited. Just to let you guys know, tomorrow's going to be November 1st. So that way you guys could know when her B-Day is, and you can send her some
Happy Halloween.
send her some late B-Day presents.
Yeah.
Right?
CASHAPP. I'm just kidding.
That part, right? Hey, no.
VENMO. I'm just kidding.
All the above. We're going to get it.
Yeah.
We're going to get it. So, how's your month been? How's your year been? How's everything been?
It's been a tough year, but here we are standing, doing our thing. Can't stop the feeling. No, keep going. My year's been good. I've been busy. I've been creating more music. It's life is life in this 2024. Mm-hmm.
That part, right? It's so interesting because I always feel like, nothing's ever perfect, but I always like to believe that, we'll always make it through, no matter what.
That part, it's been that year, this type of year, this year around. Life happens and we just got to keep going and put a smile on. It's going to be okay. God has it. Yeah.
Right. You got to trust, right? Faith is easier said than done, right?
That part.
Yeah. So Elvia, for people who may not know who you are and the things that you do, can you please let everybody know who you are and what you do?
Of course. Well, my name is Elvia Cadena, also known as Elvia Chain, Canaria, whatever you want to call it. I'm kidding. Mm-hmm. I am a singer-songwriter. I am out in Riverside, but I was raised in San Bernardino, so I always say I'm a San Bernardino child. I like to make music, and I love to sing. That's a little bit about me. What else you want to know? Ask me something.
Okay. Yeah, we like to go a little bit deeper, right? We're like the abyss. You know what the abyss is?
The abyss. Look into the abyss.
Yes. So the abyss it refers to the ocean, like the deepest part of the ocean. They call it the abyss, where people can't people can't see the light and stuff like that. So we like to go a little bit deeper into the people that come on. So can you give us as brief as you can an origin story? Where you grew up, how you grew up, all the way up to the young lady that you are today.
Of course. So there's ghosts. I'm kidding. I grew up here in San Bernardino, but I was born in Glendora, California. We lived in El Monte. Early years, I don't remember none of that. But when I was around 2 years old, we left to Mexico. So I was raised in Mexico as well. I lived in Mexico for like 3 years. Guanajuato, Mexico, puras panzas verdes. And we stayed there for a while, so I have very faint memories of Mexico. After that, we came back to LA for like a year, and then we came to San Bernardino. So in San Bernardino, I started elementary school, and I was raised here. I went to St. Anthony's Church, and that's where like my musical influence started because my parents put me in the church choir.
You went to my church?
Oh, you went to St. Anthony's as well?
Oh, I'm a saint, and...
to your church, San Antonio, right? Oh, yeah, San Antonio. I grew up at San Antonio Church. I was in the choir there. We were really into, like, the arts. So we were also in, like, folklorico, me and my siblings. And it was fun. It was a good time growing up there. At high school, I didn't do too much activities, any singing, nothing like that. Except once, I sang the national anthem for one of the pep rallies or meetings, whatever you call them. It was a small school, so we didn't have pep rallies. And shout out to Pal Center. I went to Pal Center school in Muscoy, continuation school. But I did it. I graduated. And slowly, then I became a mother. I stopped the singing for a while. And then I got back into it again. And here I am. I met some people. I got connected with like musicians. And I was like, let's do this. I'm back. And here I am singing now, making more music. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a little bit. I mean,
okay.
Let me think. I'll get more into
There's so
detail.
many things. Yeah. We're still warming up. We got to rub the engines a little bit. Warm it up. You know what I mean? It's winter time, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. So how many siblings do you have?
I have 2 sisters and a brother, so we're 4 in total.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I'm assuming the boy is the youngest, right?
Yep, that's the baby.
Is he the favorite? He's the favorite?
I don't consider my mom having a favorite, but since he's the baby, he gets babied more, He's a baby.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never felt that like, oh, my mom's favorite. No, I think we're all her favorite in a way.
Okay. I think I heard you say something about, and we're gonna get into this like something about your music, and like you got a lot of your music from your older sister.
Oh, yeah.
The stuff that she used to listen to and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. Is your older sister a big influence on you, like in your life and stuff like that, or when you're younger, I guess?
I mean, she's always been an influence in a way, a certain way. You have your seasons. So, at a certain age, she was like a big influence on this, and at this age, and like now, as we're older, she's a big influence. She's like another mom to us, right? Something happens and we run to my big sister, like Melissa,
Give us an example of what happened.
So, growing up, musically influenced, she was really into lowrider, like the Chicano rap.
Okay.
But then again, she had her season when she was like all into the Backstreet Boys. And so it changed throughout. And whatever she listened to, I listened to. I didn't have anything for me to be like, oh, well, I like this. Slowly, I started liking some of that music, and then I started exploring. So, and that time, that was like, oh, I looked up to my sister. She was like the chola with the eyebrows, and I wanted to be just like her. I had no eyebrows. I would draw my eyebrows for a point, and I'm like, oh my God, now that I look at it, I'm like, oh.
It's great. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I didn't realize until as I got older, I was like, man, there's such a relationship between like Cholita culture and then like Gothic culture. There's like a really close line between the two. It's so crazy.
Yeah. I see some people Chola Goth.
Chola Goth?
There's actually a singer and it's Cholo Goth, and his name is Prayers. Kat Von D's husband, he does a lot of that Cholo Goth.
Kat Von D, the tattoo artist?
Yeah, her husband. His name is artist name is Prayers. And it's now that you mentioned that, I'm like, oh, I thought of that. But so that's what I was into at that time. So that was an influence. Eventually, when I started getting into my own thing, I went through like the rockabilly phase, the punk phase, the all of that. And now, as we're older, her influence is in like, oh, my sister's good. She's independent with her children, and this certain influences throughout like our seasons. So I mean, like that could be one of the examples where the music came in.
Got you. What about the mother thing, as her being the second mom? What's something recently that you went to her for as a second mom?
Just like family stuff, like, oh, my child is, or oh, what do I do? It's like she's the one closest, so right away call. Help me with this. What do I do? Since she's like the older sibling, and she has an 18-year-old, and right now I have a 15-year-old. So with certain things, it's like I go to her for advice. Same thing like with my mom. But right now, my mom is not like, I could just go to her. She's in Mexico.
Yeah.
So my big sister is that
She's the
person
one.
right there that I'm like, you're my mom right now. Help me.
It's like, okay, my daughter just talked back to me. How do I not slap her in the face? Tell me, how do I not slap her in the face?
The nerve. That part.
Yeah.
Or just, little random things like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, her daughter just graduated high school, so she's a little older. She's had her for longer, so she knows what it is. And I'm like, hey, sister, I need help with this. Or even with like cooking,
Okay. Can Elvia get in the kitchen? Can Elvia cook in the kitchen?
I mean, I'm still learning, but
Got
I can make some stuff. I can make chiles rellenos.
Okay.
But I've never made like birria or things like that, like the big. But yeah, that's another example. I go to my sister for little things like that. Like, hey, what other ingredient does this need? Or you made this so bomb. How was it? Yeah, that's like the mom in her. Same thing. If anything, when we get sick or stuff like that, she calls us like, hey, and I'm like, Mom. She's like the other mom, the other mother.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to your music, right? And I know we probably get this question so many times, but I'm gonna ask it.
Ask me something.
It's so cliche. What are some of your biggest influences for singing?
Ooh, a lot. I grew up listening to, obviously in Spanish. My parents are from Mexico. My mom was really into like the rancheras and Juan Gabriel, and so one of my big influences in Spanish is like Rocío Dúrcal, another singer Chayito Valdés, and that's like from my mom's influence. With my sister, Etta James was like the first one that I was ever into. Like, oh my God, Christina Aguilera was a big influence. Selena, Alicia Keys. Later on, growing up, I got really into like Amy Winehouse, Adele was like great. Beyonce's always been like somebody in there because of like Destiny's Child. So she's always been in that. You listen to like, their music. But Alicia Keys was like one of my top favorite. Same thing with like Amy Winehouse, Etta James. And yeah, those are like some of the, like right now that I'm into it. Cause music starts changing. Kali Uchis is like one of my big influences now.
Okay.
But growing up, it was more of those singers, Christina Aguilera, like I said, Alicia Keys, Etta James.
I got you. Because some of the songs that I've listened to, I hear you. I can tell there's a lot of, especially like Black American influences. Because I'll hear some of the grrr. I hear like that grrr. I call it like the growl.
My
a little bit
growl?
of the growl. Yes. You know what I'm talking about, right? I'll hear the growl.
The growl.
I'll hear that growl, which is very, first it makes me think about Christina Aguilera, and when I know who big influences like Whitney Houston and stuff like that for her. And I know like they don't sing they don't do growls in boleros or mariachis. They don't growl, right?
Yeah,
right?
Pretty much.
Right?
I mean, some people now in the mariachi and the rancheras, it would be something that they would like occasionally do as talking, like "hi" type of thing, but not like actually singing.
Yeah. No, it's definitely. Would you say right? Like the Black American. So you sing also music in English and in Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Why is it so important for you to have both music in English and in Spanish?
Because Spanish is my first language and I want to keep that in there. I know most of my music is in English, but I'm slowly trying to like transfer into like doing more of the Spanish stuff or mixing it. Like I said, Spanish is my first language, and I still have a lot of family who live in Mexico or followers that don't speak English, so it's a little more complicated for them to understand. Or I mean, they could love how I sing and be like, "Oh my God, qué bonito canta," but if they're not understanding it, it's more. That's when you get more into depth with like the music because you understand. So I want to be able to do that for both, and yeah, it's important. It's part of my roots. Que viva la raza. Que viva la raza.
Viva la raza.
So, and it's true. Whenever I do perform a Spanish song, I'm like, this is for the raza. The ones that don't know understand. You got to throw a little something in there. And there's been times where I'm performing and there's, you're at a festival or something. They're like, oh, she's singing. And next thing you know, I throw in a Spanish song and they're like, a bunch of Spanish speakers come up to me like, Mija, like, you sing so beautiful, but I didn't think you were going to sing in Spanish because I was doing all English. And then I pop out with that Spanish one and they're like, oh, she sings in Spanish too, which is like cool because you get to be a part of that certain artist or whoever just because you relate it to them in some way.
Yeah,
So with the Spanish, I'm like, yay, I get to connect with my Spanish people. With the Spanish. Spanish, yeah.
That part. For my non-Spanish speakers, La Raza means race.
Race.
And old saying in Chicano culture for Viva la Raza is live the race, like long live the race.
Yeah.
Just for people who may not be understanding what's on, so I just want to catch you guys on. And I remember when I first, Viva la Raza, when I first used to hear that and love it was, there used to be wrestling, WCW.
Oh, yeah.
With Rey Mysterio. I can't think of the other guy's name, but they'd also be like, Viva la Raza. You're like, we used to love it. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome.
I tend to do a lot of the Spanglish, so my bad. Thank you for, ¿cómo se dice?
Explicar?
Explaining. Yeah.
Of course, sometimes, people are like,
what is that? What did she say?
Maybe a lot of people might be like, yeah, we already knew. Why continue? Right? Let's say, and I think you've mentioned this before in other podcasts that you're kind of considering exploring other styles of music, right?
Oh, definitely.
But what would you consider if people looked into your discography right now, your type of style of music? How would you define your style of music, if you could?
Soul, R&B soul. Right now, Souldees is the new genre coming in, and it's a mixture of like soulful music and the oldies but goodies. So it's like Souldees. So I try to. That's.
Can you give us like some artist names like that can kind of like relate to like what soul music is?
So right now, there's like, let's see, Joey Quiñones, The Altons, The Sinceres, Trish Toledo, Mariah Avila. In that Souldees genre that I'm talking about, that I'm more in right now.
Okay.
But eventually, like I said, it might change because I like R&B. Erykah Badu, Jill Scott.
Okay.
Who else?
The names are just right there, huh?
Yeah, there's so many that you could mention, and then we have Amy Winehouse, and we have Cat Wright, and it's just a lot of different artists that you could just go on forever naming. But like I said, I do want to be able to have everything in there because I like a little bit of everything. I want to do some rancheras. I want to do some boleros.
Okay.
Like I want to do some cumbias, or that'll be like the Spanish part in me, and then in English, I want to do some like, let's try some like that 50s rock and roll, some doo-wop, some, it's just, you could just do a little bit of everything, but slowly. I'm like, but slowly, let's take the waves as they go.
Yeah. Have you heard the saying of like, you have like these fans that follow you because you're artist, because of your sound? But then some people will stay and go based off like the artist's exploration.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that? Like, hey, you know what? I just need to explore this other place. Either you rock with me or you don't.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I do that as well sometimes. I like an artist till they got to like this album. Mm-hmm. And I'll continue to listen to them. Maybe on this album, there'll be like at least one song that I like or something. And I've noticed that like nowadays it's not obviously you're labeled as in a certain genre, but then again there's so many like
subgenres
that they venture out to, and they have a feature with this person and a feature with that person and a feature with that person, but they still continue to make the music that they like I said, I'd still stay in like that R&B Souldees genre. Mm-hmm. But I could venture out to all these other ones, and there's gonna be somebody in the crowd who's gonna like this song featured with this person, because like, what, she did that with that. And you know, so some people are gonna rock with you with that song, some people are not. And I think that's part of the whole thing, you know, to see who
fuck with you.
Who fuck with me. Like you're gonna fuck with me on this end or on that end, or you're gonna just keep it on that same genre that it's always been.
That part.
So yeah.
It reminds me of Kanye West. Like people are like, you know, I can't listen to Kanye West's new stuff. Let me stick with the Graduation and that's it. It's like, okay, I get it. But I think it's important because like as artists and as people, like we're always growing. And so there's some things like I have this idea about just doing a whole bolero album, and I just have to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
like,
it's like, let it explore.
I want to have that. I want to have this, even if maybe that won't get all the plays in the world, or it'll slow me down, or it won't, or it'll bring me up, whatever. I did that. Same thing, you know, just little sections everywhere. Let's try that, see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
We got to keep exploring. I know we're more than capable of creating like whatever we want to create. Is just ¿cómo se dice? Like, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Nike.
It. Yeah, there you go. Nike, just do it.
Yeah, Nike.
Yeah.
Who's Nike? Oh.
Nike.
Yeah, Nike. Mama, Nike. We say Nike here.
You say Nike. Yeah.
I was I was watching this show called Archer last night, and they were like, I forgot what he said.
The show's called what? I'm sorry?
It's called Archer. It's like a cartoon, right? It's like a spy cartoon. But he was in Miami, and, you know, he was dealing with this Cubano, and they were talking in Spanish, and he was like, you know, how do you say rational? He's like, racional.
I do that all the time. Just say whatever sounds the same.
Yeah. So it just reminded me of that, which was super awesome.
Racional.
Yeah, it was so awesome. How long have you been in this music journey? At least like 10 years, 10 years plus?
It's gonna be like about 10 years, around there. I mean, at least doing it like professionally and like getting paid and doing shows and things like that, like 10 years. But I mean, I've sang forever. Like I said, I grew up in the church choir. And even as kids, growing up in the neighborhood, we stayed doing little shows I grew up in apartments, and there was a bunch of kids. Mm-hmm. So we had our little friend group, and we would put on little shows in the back parking lot, invite all the parents, bring your chair. It's going to be a show in the back. And we'd have a little speaker and make little dances and sing and la la la. So I've been doing this forever. But yeah, like about 10 years professionally, you know, exposing myself in different areas and stuff like that.
Exposing yourself?
Not exposing, but, you know.
Dear God.
No, you know what I meant.
You know, like, OnlyFans has got to make money. I get it. I get it.
Never.
She's like, boleros on OF.
Right? Let's do this. No. But putting myself out there for the world to see my musical talent, about 10 years.
Beautiful. What's been your biggest challenge on this road so far?
Híjole. My biggest challenge is learning everything. It's a lot. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to go sing. Yeah. You know, especially when you're doing like big shows, when it comes to like contracts and just making sure that you're not getting like played, or, you know, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's crazy out there. So I think that's been the biggest challenge, to like learn everything, and you have to learn everything beyond it. There's also like the copyright stuff, and you can't be singing that, or you can't, you know, it's a lot to put music out, and you got to learn a lot. So that's been like one of the big challenges throughout this whole, because everything else, I got this. I'll go out there and sing. I'll go out there and talk and perform, but it's just like the behind the scenes stuff is what's the challenging part of it. And it still is. It's never gonna, I don't think it's ever gonna end. You know, you're just gonna keep learning and learning and learning. Because I've met people who have been in the industry for like a long time, and there's still a lot that they're like, oh, you know, times change, so everything starts changing. You gotta figure out how you're gonna adapt to everything. So like with us now, we have social media. Social media is like a big help. Back then it was more of like, listen to my CD type of thing,
Out of the trunk, yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, times change. You got to adapt. So I think that's going to always forever be a challenge.
Got you. Can you give us an example of one of the things that you learned about protecting yourself via contract and also like protecting yourself with the copyright stuff? Can you give us an example of both of those?
An example, like when you do covers, of songs, obviously you have to make sure that you can contact the people of who owns the song, and all of that. Make sure you work that out first before you. Same thing as like you can't be using people's tracks, or there's like copyrights. You got to make sure you have like your own track. What else? And with the contracts too, like for example, there's times I sing at casino gigs, and it's not just about me singing. It's like I'm working, so no drinking on stage, no, yeah, like you wouldn't go to your job drunk, So same thing. That's when it comes to like contracts. You gotta really make sure like what you're signing, what you're getting into with people. You don't want to like lose your job over like little things. Same thing as like merchandise, selling merchandise. You gotta have like a permit, or it's just for certain big corporations, stuff like that. You have to have certain permits and stuff like that to be. It's not just about like, oh, I have this and here, take it. Like you gotta make sure that it's.
And then I think it's for artists and called like a writer, right? Do you get to have like a writer for yourself saying like, okay, like I need 10 bottles of Evian when I show. Do you get to like have demands on your end when you go to places like that?
My contract, yeah. Some contracts will. It all depends on what kind of place it is. I mean, you can't get too picky about everything either.
Got you.
But of course, when you can, it's like, oh, my contract has this. Make sure I have like warm water or a tea, or certain, not too cold in the room, or little things like that. But I haven't got to that level yet.
Okay, we're getting there.
I've done some shows where it's like, oh wow, this green room is like wow, depending on venues and stuff. But then there's times that it's just like, hey, and I'm still there. I'm like, we got this. Let's do this. I'm not. You gotta be humble. You started out a certain way, so you can't get too. I need everything like this, and no noise, please. Like no.
Gotcha. Okay, it's on the record, folks. So it's on the record. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see when you get my contract.
That part.
I could be lying.
That part, right? Mentirosa.
I could be lying, but
yeah, I guess we'll find out, right?
Yeah.
People may not know, but you do covers, right? As well, a lot of covers. Yeah. But you're also a singer-songwriter, right? Your own songs, right?
Yes.
So as a songwriter, what are some of the things, like where do your ideas come from when you're writing your songs? Like how does it come to you and stuff like that? And what do you feel like you mostly write about?
It's random, but mostly I write about like life experiences. Just everybody can relate to everybody. It has been, or if they haven't been, they know somebody who has, or just pretty much life experiences. And like my creativity is like literally like random. I could be right here and we could be talking about something and I'm like, let me get my notes and write it down. And I do that a lot. Before I used to always have like a libreta, a notebook. I'm more of the like, let me pop out my notebook and write everything down. And there's times I don't have my libreta, so I'm like, oh, notes. And I'll write it down, and I have little things in there that I'll remember. And when I have the time, or I'm like alone, I'll bump some music, and or just like when I'm listening to music, random times, I'm like, ooh, okay, I got an idea of something, and I'll write it down. So it's just random, and they usually turn out into like being life situations, like love or a problem that you went through, and it's just life. I like to refer it as life. I'm really into like the heartbreak music, like why?
Okay.
So that's something that I really like, especially because you see it everywhere. either you've experienced it or somebody has experienced it. It's like a story. I like stories, you know, so
Yeah.
I feel like my music is more like stories and um like
Oh,
I
yeah.
like life. It's
Of course.
life.
What's one of the first thing that comes to mind is like, what's one of the problem songs that help you, that you wrote out? That was like a problem that you like, okay, everyone probably goes through this problem.
Problem. Well, I have some unreleased music that
Okay.
is not out. The music that I have right now, it's my album is not on all digital platforms, so I can't sit there and be like, "Oh, go listen to it on all digital platforms." But there is this song called "Do You Love Me,"
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty much talking about like, okay, well, you're telling me that you love me so much and this and that, but then again, the way you're acting, it doesn't show like you are. Or I'm noticing little things that doesn't prove your love to me. So that it's called "Do You Love Me," and that's one of the songs that I wrote that it's a problem song. Same thing as "Forbidden Fruit." That's like my first single original. That one's on all digital platforms, so make sure you guys check it out. "Forbidden Fruit," yeah. And that's also like a problem that I had back in high school of like, oh, my friend's boyfriend is like, I know he likes me, he flirts with me, but then, and you kind of like it. You're like, But then again, you're like, no, that's my friend's boyfriend. And now you know these things are like, no. But in high school, it's more of like you're experimenting and you're just kind of like, you're not supposed to, but then again, you're like, well, and everybody goes through those situations in high school that, oh, she was talking to my boyfriend or my boyfriend was flirting with her. And even now situations. But that was a problem that I had in high school, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, people now can relate to it or they could remember back in high school they had that issue or
Yeah.
just, it's a problem song and people can relate to that.
Yeah. People still have forbidden fruits to this day.
Yep.
Right? Grown ass people, right?
Grown ass people,
Like, you
yeah.
40 and you got forbidden fruit? Like, leave him alone. I just need a bite.
Forbidden, right?
I just need a bite.
And it kind of reminds me of like the whole Adam and Eve thing as well. You know, the
100%.
snake with the fruit. and
100%. That's immediately where I went.
The forbidden fruit, yeah.
That's immediately where I went. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind you, if you're enjoying what you're listening to and watching right now, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't. We're doing our thing right now. Yeah, forbidden fruit. Yeah, I immediately thought of the snake when you mentioned. I was like, yeah, Adam and Eve, snake, the temptation, and we talked a little bit offline, a little bit online. We talked about God, Jesus, and you even mentioned singing in choir and stuff like that. So how would you would you say that you're a woman of faith?
Oh, definitely,
Okay.
definitely. I grew up in a Catholic church, so I have always known God, and it's always been that way. I've always kept that faith, and even through hardship, through hard times and stuff like that, it's like sometimes we want to be like, why? But then again, you have that. I've always had that faith that this is how it's supposed to be. I'm going to leave it in God's hands. And even though it hurts me so much, or even though this is so happy, everything is for a reason. And at certain times you feel like you don't know why, but eventually later on you catch up and you're like, oh God, that was the prayer that God, I asked for, or I pray. So there's times that you're like, why isn't my prayers being answered? Until we expect for things to like go like a certain way, like
Yeah.
I'm praying this way and it's gonna happen this way. No, sometimes things have to go down, and then your prayer, like that's how your prayer was answered. So I'm a big person of faith. I always go to God. Like I said, I grew up with God, and He's always been there. And yeah, I'm a woman. I believe in my Lord Jesus. Thanks to Him, I'm here. He gave me the gift of singing, so I'm gonna like spread it to the world. And
Yes.
I
I like how you said, you pray for it to go this way, and it thinks it's supposed to go this way, but it's like, I think people always say like, God's timing, divine timing, like, it's like, yeah, it should go this way, but it's like, nah, God's gonna do this way. And I always like to think that, in my opinion, I like to think that God's a comedian. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, how could this happen like this? Like, are you
Why?
laughing? Yeah, like, are you
Yeah.
laughing at me? Like, I always think like God's a comedian. I always feel like that. And the reason why I kind of bring this up is because, you have, like we said, choir is how you got into singing, and you considered doing other albums. Would you ever consider making an album completely based off like faith?
Yeah, like a Christian album and stuff.
Yeah.
I listen to Christian music. I like
Yeah.
Christian music. I would love to, because like I said, there's music is everywhere. And Christian music, there's a whole other,
Market?
yeah, like not market. I mean that too, but I feel like it's more of like the faith part in it. You know how we have like the regular music that's not Christian, it makes you feel some kind of way. God makes you feel some kind of way as well, and like happy feelings, or it makes you're going through it, music, and that's music as well, but in like a Christian way. You get me? So it's that would be beautiful.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, there's a whole another market over there, but sometimes it's not even too much about like the market.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just music. If it gets me like somewhere big, oh, thank you, Jesus. I appreciate it. But if it doesn't, I'm still singing. I'm still here. It's still taking me somewhere, And as long as people still listen to it, and if it's just like in the Christian music or in this genre, I'd love to do a Christian. I grew up singing Christian music. That's where I started.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be really nice.
An idea to think
do
about, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And it's funny, I have people mention that, my parents too, even before I started getting into like, they're like, cántale para la iglesia. And I'm like, yeah. So it's something I definitely do.
Yeah. When you get big doing it, just 5% here. That's all I want. To let you know. That's,
Right?
that's all, 5%.
Shoot a little, give me my money.
That's it, just 5%, tithes, give tithes and offerings, going back to your early days of performing, you used to perform with a backing track, right?
Yeah.
Right. So how has your perception of music changed now with Elvia and the Gems, when you have like
with the band?
With the band. So how has your perception of music and performing changed now that you've performed now with a band?
It's fun. I feel like it's more fun with the band, because you get to mix it up and switch it up and put songs together. With the track, you have to just like follow the track and make sure it's there. And when you're singing with the band, you get to do whatever you want. If you want to make the song longer, you make it longer. If you want to cut it short, you cut it short. If you want to jump right into a different song because it sounds the same as this song, you could do so much more with the band, which is fun. Like, don't get me wrong, I like to sing with tracks, and for certain shows, people will just want that instead of like a full-on band, and I do it, but I enjoy it more with the band.
Yeah.
It's just more...
Yeah. The vibe is different too, right?
Yeah, yes. More excitement. You feel like you said, the vibe. And yeah, it's a whole different game with the band.
Yeah.
It's fun.
The energy's like higher and different.
And then there's some songs that, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
there's some music that it sounds better to perform with the band than with the track, Like with the track, some music just sounds like you're karaokeing.
That part.
Which I love karaoke, but it's different.
Big difference, yeah. Yeah, the energy's so different. You have people on stage, and I guess that's like another, when we're talking about like behind the scenes, like another layer of dealing with that. And I have to deal with people now in the band, so it's like a whole other level, right? Behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
The show business side of it.
And I always tell the guys too, like, when you go up there, you just have fun, Like, don't be like, oh, we're performing and we're people. Have fun, and it's, you feed off the crowd, and the crowd feeds off of you. So sometimes I got my trumpet guy over here, like, yeah, and the saxophone over here, and the crowd feeds off of that energy of you performing, and you as well. When you see the crowd like jamming out, I'm like, okay, guys, we're doing our thing, because it's not just me, it's all of us. They're doing their thing as well, and I'm up here singing, and it's just all of us doing our thing.
Yeah.
It's not just like me. It's like we're all feeding off of each other to give you guys a great chill.
Yeah, an experience, right?
Yeah.
It's like back and forth, the energy going back and
Yeah.
forth, I noticed you got tattoos. Like, how many tattoos you got?
Híjole, I have
Too much to count?
not. Yeah, I got like enough. I'm like
Okay,
enough.
what's on the fingers? What do you have on your fingers?
So on my fingers, I have the number 17 in Roman numerals, just 'cause it was cool.
Okay.
Roman numerals, and they're like 17 gang. No, my daughter was born on a 17th, so May is the 5th. And then 17.
Okay.
And then over here I have her initials. This one's a little faded out. I gotta get a retouch. But it's my first kid, so I'm like, I'm gonna put it all over. And I have her name as well. Later on I got my other daughter's name. Oh, chola, the name. And then I like the Friday the 13th stuff, so I got me a few Friday the 13th little small tattoos.
Like Michael Myers, Friday the 13th?
This one is, yeah. Well, Friday the 13th.
Jason.
Jason. Friday
Yes.
the 13th, Jason, and Friday the 13th. It's like I'm trying to do the whole little. Every Friday the 13th, go get a tattoo. It just started, so I only have like a couple.
Okay. So you have a little thing where every Friday the 13th you're gonna get a tattoo.
I'm trying to, and there's been a few that I already missed. I'm like, no, but it is what it is. I have Friday the 13th tattoos. I have bats. Some of them are like. Way back in the day, they're like, why bats?
Yeah.
Back then, instead of being like, I was a night owl, I was a bat.
Okay.
Out in the night all the time.
She's like, I'm blind and I sing. That's how
I'm blind to everything.
I use my voice to see the world.
Right? So the bats, I have bats, I have that. And that's pretty much it. Friday
Okay. So are you a horror fan? Are you a horror fan?
I do. I like horror movies. I like the older
stuff,
horror stuff.
Okay.
I mean, there's some new stuff now that I do like as well, and I'm like, cool. Like the Insidious, like the movies, like the Insidious movies. That one was cool. Like scary movies. Terrifier. I recently started watching the Terrifier movies, and I'm just like, wow, that's very gory. I'm not too much of like the gory.
Yeah, the gore is.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's a horror movie or whatever, but it's too gory for me. But yeah, I like the horror stuff. I love like the Dia de los Muertos stuff.
Okay.
I have that. I have skulls.
All on the arms?
On my arms, like roses and the spider webs. And all that. It's like my family. It's supposed to be a representation of my family. My mom's all on one side by herself.
Okay.
With a microphone.
And Papa?
And then my dad's over here with all the siblings around him.
Oh, so he doesn't get his own arm? He's like, Pop, sorry.
Sorry, Dad, but you get to be with everybody. No, I just wanted to make the... well, at first it was just the woman and my dad was alone.
Okay.
And he's like dressed like charro, and it's like the skulls. But I wanted to add more onto it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to add my siblings around here and... my mom a microphone because she sings, and my dad's the man of the house, so he has the children, and my mom is the queen.
Okay, I see.
I mean, my dad's the king too, but my mom, that's what I relate with my mom a lot, like the singing.
Okay.
It's like my mom is the queen. Yeah.
You guys connect through singing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom. She was a big influence. Besides, how you're like, who's a big influence? The artists. Mm-hmm. My mom was not like an artist out there or anything, or she never recorded anything or nothing like that, but she was like my biggest influence. I think that's where I got the whole singing from, because my mom was always singing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cleaning, cooking, random. At the family parties, if there was like a mariachi, a banda, anything, my mom sang.
In Espanol, sí?
Yeah.
Okay.
The mariachi stuff, yeah.
Ooh.
So I grew up listening to my mom. That was my biggest influence. Biggest influence.
I just had an idea. I just had an idea. Maybe you can think about it. Maybe, and maybe you already heard that. Maybe you've already done it before. But making a song, or even maybe like an EP, but just you and your mom singing in Spanish.
I would love that. I've told her about it. I'm like, later. She's like, no, I can't sing anymore. She's like, that's why I have you guys. Because my siblings sing too. So, that's an idea I've had before too, of like making music and having my sisters like do the second voice, or
Okay, like the harmonies or something like that?
Harmonize together.
Okay.
And because my big, we all sing. My little sister sings too. I mean, that's not the career that chaste, but they sing. My big sister, she's in her church choir. And I've told her before, like, let's go. She's like, no, sister, I only sing for the Lord. I'm like, oh, so beautiful.
She'll be on the Christian album.
Right? I told her, I'm like, dude, sing some Christian music. Put it out there. Like, put some covers or something. She's like, I don't know. But maybe later on I could push her to do that.
When you get that Christian album, you'll hit her up. But yeah, I think it would be really cool. It just came to my mind right now. I was like, I don't think it would be...
I've always thought of that, like my mom and me.
Yeah, putting your mom, like a duet album, right?
Yeah.
Like, the woman that inspired me to sing, and then singing with her. And it reminded me of that because I think his name is... I think it was Kamai Washington. Was it him? I can't remember, but it was an artist recently I was listening to, and he was playing, and then... He was like, yeah, that's my dad on alto sax and flute. And I was like, oh, how cool.
Nice.
Like father and son playing together, like live. And it's just like...
I love that. I love
that.
Well, I mean, whenever we have get-togethers and stuff like that, my mom would like, oh, we'll sing together and stuff like that. My mom's a big cigarette smoker, so her voice is like...
She sound like this?
No, she doesn't sound like that. She still sounds like normal, but when it comes to like singing... she can't hit the notes that she used to before. Okay. And I'm like, it's all good, Mom. Just switch it to a lower key.
That's it. We'll just keep it low. Yeah. We'll keep it in that alto range.
She's like, oh, okay. But like I said, my mom never did it professionally, so it's hard for her to learn, like, what keys. I mean, easy. I teach her. Yeah. Like, Mom, we do this all the time when we karaoke, so you got this. That part. Yeah. It's just the part of, like... do it. She's very like, no, no me.
You got to give her like a cerveza or two or something.
Right? Some cazadores.
That's it, right? She's like, okay, mija, let's go. Andale.
Yeah, but no, we love to sing. Like I said, whenever we have parties, get-togethers, anything, and there's like a mariachi or a banda or even pop out the speaker and we'll karaoke and stuff. All of us, we love it. My dad, he's not the best singer, but he loves it. He slowly gets in there and I'm like, oh, Daddy, you've been practicing. You're sounding a little better.
Right? He's like, okay.
Yeah, like, he's never been a singer like that either. But we all like to karaoke. The kids, everybody gets into it. Yeah, we like to keep that music going
in the family. Cool. Well, we'll save some to be on the track, and we'll save some just for home.
Right? Yeah. we can't put everything out.
Yeah, you can't put Elvia is a brand here, and can't just have dogs on here singing, This is a Pink Floyd album. Which is actually kind of cool. Have you actually heard that with the dog singing on Pink Floyd album?
Singing?
Or, it's like the way a dog would sing, which is like, oh.
The whole, no, I don't think I have.
Yeah,
no.
Pink Floyd. Shout out to you, Pink Floyd. Thank you guys for your music. You rep San Bernardino as being your place, right? To stay. So... how do you know Mike Castor from OG Family?
Oh, Mike. Yeah. I did. So I have been following him for a while because of the brand, his clothing brand and all of that. And, I wear originals. And I met his brother because they were having like an art exhibition in San Bernardino in downtown for the brand, and they also had like painting, drawings and stuff. So I didn't know they were siblings. So I knew him, and I had never met OG Mike, but I had like seen him around and his stuff and his shop, all that. And then I met him at a photo shoot that I did for a show called Chicano Elegance. And he did like a collaboration with them. They he made the T-shirts for that event that they were going to be selling and raising funds for. So that's where I met him. But come to find out, he like had already done like some artwork for my song Have I Sinned that I have out on all digital platforms. Shout out to DJ Cazal and Industry Music Group. He knew him, so he fixed the picture that we have for the button for the song. So when you look up Have I Sinned, that picture of me, he like hooked it up and did that little... And I didn't even know this. So eventually for the Chicano Elegance, I finally like officially met him and we spoke and he's like, I did your artwork for la la la. And I'm like, it was you? Like, I didn't know, I just did this project with this group and they handled everything. So I didn't know. I was just like, okay, my song's out and my artwork looks so cool.
Yeah.
But I didn't know who was like the designer or who hooked the picture up. And so that's how I officially met him. And, the brother, I had already like spoken to him at one of his art exhibitions that I wanted to like get a design created for like some merch or something. So it was crazy that he's like, oh, that's my brother. I'm like, what? What a small world.
That part.
But yeah, cool people. He made my recent business cards. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm like,
OG family people did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And I think we mentioned offline that you also know Romulo.
Yes.
Who helps a lot with the community. And how do you know Romulo? Like,
dude, me and Romulo go way back. Shout out to Romulo. The loco nanonet. We grew up in the church choir. He was in the church choir with me.
He was a
used
choir
to play
boy?
The bass.
He was a choir boy? Or no, he was a bass player?
We had like a whole band. The church choir was like a band. It wasn't like just like the vocals and the keyboard. No, it was like a band. We had a bass, a guitar, the drums, all that. And Romulo was the bass player. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we went to high school together too. Man, memories. We go way back. And slowly throughout like life, he's had events, and I've went to him for like my business cards or certain things because he has his shop or bought stuff from his he's doing his thing, and we support each other whenever we can. So yeah, we go way back to like high school days. Yeah, shout out to Romulo. We were growing up. We were also like he's always been really involved with the community and stuff like that. And I feel like because in high school, that's how we started out. We were in like our choir director was also part of. She would work for the San Bernardino County, and we were involved in like teen activities, and we would go to like leadership retreats and like a bunch of stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, I have so many memories of. I remember for a birthday, him and another friend from, was it him or I don't know, but I remember the guys all put ins and bought me some Vans for my birthday. The church choir, the guys. I'm like, I have like these. So many flashbacks that are coming onto my head right now, but
I'm loving it.
Yeah,
Share with us.
Yeah, we go way back. Church choir days. Cool people. And Romulo has a good heart. He's a good person.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he's good peeps. Yeah. As an artist, how do you decide what people that you want to work with and collaborate with? Because I know you've done work with I think his name's like El Chueco de California.
Chueco, yeah.
Yeah. So like, what made you say like, you know what, I will collaborate with him? And how do you pick people that you want to collaborate with and not collaborate with?
So people pick me. Yeah, just kidding.
Okay.
Sometimes people pick me, and sometimes I pick people. And it all depends. I mean, a lot. I've done like collaborations with people who don't really even put their music out. It's just they want to have stuff on the record, like, oh, I made this, and they're not like trying to like be an artist like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's just like, oh, I like music and I'm going to make my own music and it's here. And I mean, of course it's all on digital platforms, but they're not like promoting it or anything like that. It's just something that they have. And then there's like the artists that like, oh, they have their whole thing going on, and they like with Chueco, he hit me up about collaborating, and I was like, dude, let's do this. Even before I started putting out music out, like on Spotify and things like that. Shout out to Round 2 Music, Charlie Perez. That's I'm not no longer in this label, but I was with this Round 2 Music for 4 years, and that's how I got Forbidden Fruit out, and a few of my other The Best Thing That Ever Happened, my album that I have. Thanks to them, they gave me that opportunity to release that music. But like I was saying with Chueco, he hit me up, and he was just like, I have this idea and I think your voice is going to be perfect for it. Here it is. Check it out. Do your thing and let me know. And we went back and forth till we figured it out. But like I said, see, I already looped it in a bunch of different stories. But before I was even with Round Two Music and all of that, I had friends who recorded music, and we would be like messing around random, like I'll do the hook. I know how to sing. And eventually, like, yeah, shout out to Samuel James. I have a few tracks with him. You could listen to SoundCloud, Samuel James, and I'm like just the hook girl. And he's rapping, and I'm just doing the hook and little singing behind it. So, before I started like actually like writing my own music or like just being me, I was doing the hooks for whoever wanted a hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm down to do more collaborations with people. It all depends on if I like the music as well. I'm not gonna just collaborate with anybody. Not that I mean I can, but I feel like you have to be connected. You have to connect with the music. If you don't like a certain genre or something, I don't know. I feel like you're like, I
Yeah.
don't know about that. Or it's not, you don't feel it. You know, you have a certain style or that you like. So I feel like that's what you choose. That's what you attracts you. So
Definitely. Are there any artists that you would like to collaborate with that's like local or just in general?
local in general, there's a lot. I love Kelly Uchis, October London, T-Pain.
Okay, okay.
All of these bigger artists, but like upcoming artists that I really would like to collaborate with singing. I would love to do one of King Little G's hooks. You know, he's a Chicana rap, but he has like a lot of like good hooks. Um, who else? We have like Joey Quinones. I would love to do like a duet with him. Um, there's so many more. Uh, I would even rap. Let's rap. I'm kidding.
Okay, okay.
No, I mean I would. I could come up with a little something. I'm not a rapping type of person, but I have before. I have a track. Shout out to the gangster EC. He's a Riverside. Um, he hit me up for a hook, and he was also there's a space if the hook is gonna be this way, but I'm gonna leave you a space if you want to sing more or depending on how the song was, it was like kind of like that fun gangster, he's rapping. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try this. And I rap in a little section of it, and I'm like, oh, I rap now. So
I rap now.
I rap now.
Christmas time.
So I mean, there's I like Lil Rob. I would love to do a hook for Lil Rob or sing, like that MC Magic feel, back in my day era type of music. Yeah, I could go on for days if you tell me. But those are a few of the ones that I like.
Okay.
That I would like to collaborate or do like a duet with female singers or female rappers. Snow the Product. She's a artist that's like out now, and
yeah,
it'd be cool to like sing with her or do one of her hooks or
that'd be dope.
Rap or something. Yeah.
Any IE or LA artists that you'd want to collab with?
IE. I'm trying to think. IE. Híjole.
Put it on the spot, folks. Put it on the spot.
I know. I blank right now. IE artists that I know or LA. There's so many LA and IE artists, and right now I'm like.
He's like, none of them. I don't want to collab with none of you followers.
No, there is, but I'm like, I gotta go through my phone right now.
That part is like,
I'm blank.
Got you. To be continued. We'll let her think about it. And
let it come to me.
It'll come back. It's marinating right now. It's marinating. It's marinating. Like
There's a rapper in LA. Her name's Reverie. She's good. There's also a rapper in LA named Bella the rapper.
Okay.
She's good. Crap, I'm totally blank right now. I can't think.
We'll let it marinate.
But we'll to be continued.
To be continued. To be continued. I want to play a quick game with you.
Let's do this.
All right. So, I want you to just. It's going to be a speed round. So whatever comes to your mind, just answer as quick as possible. Right. I'm going to give you these names. I want to give you these names, and I want you to tell me what the first thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready?
Okay.
You ready? Don't be scared.
I feel like I'm in a test.
She's in a test. It's okay. You can't fail. You can't fail.
Okay.
It's kind of like driving in,
Okay.
in a foreign country. You can't fail.
You
can't fail. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, speed round. Here we go. Etta James.
My Dearest Darling.
Amy Winehouse.
Back to Black.
Pink.
Pink. Okay.
Rihanna.
Rihanna. Come here, boy, can you get it? Ooh, sorry.
No, you're good. Whitney Houston.
And
Beyonce.
If you like a thing, she'd put a ring on it.
Alicia Keys.
Some people want it all. Ooh, that song.
Tyler Perry.
Medea.
Alicia. Ashanti.
Ooh. I know all these Ashanti songs and I can't think of any of hers. I think of Nelly.
It can be whatever comes to your mind.
Nelly.
That's what it comes to your mind. Hey, there we go, Nelly.
I think it's the Toyota Arena.
Hey,
yeah.
The first thing that comes to your mind, you know. What's her name? Red.
What's
her name? Ice Spice. That's what I meant to say.
Ice Spice. I think of her little orange little fluff.
Okay.
Cute. She's cute.
Did I say Adele?
Ooh, Adele reminds me of breakups.
Got you. And Cleopatra.
Like, I am Foxy Cleopatra, and I'm that Cleopatra?
It's whatever the first thing that comes to your mind.
Austin Powers or Beyonce? The movie?
I got you. Foxy Cleopatra. You fuck with Austin Powers?
I love Austin Powers movies.
One of my favorite lines is just like, what is it? It's like, I swallowed a Viagra and had a stiff neck for hours.
I could go on with Austin Powers.
Go ahead, hit us with one.
I like when he's Goldman and he's like, oh yeah, this is Shorty Faja. The Faja.
Austin Powers Faja.
His Faja.
Austin Powerovich and Faja.
Faja.
I like to eat, I have my skin. I like to eat my skin.
He's right there like Shorty.
Okay. Yes. A little bit salty. Yes.
That's what I think of. Austin Powers is funny. I also think of that actor, the Cat in the Hat.
Dr. Seuss?
No, yeah, Dr. Seuss, but that actor Mike Myers played the cat in the Cat in the Hat movie, and man, that movie is like childhood memories right there.
I love it. Another line I remember on Austin Powers, I think him and Dr. Evil like climbing up a ladder, and then I think like either Austin falls or I think Austin falls and he like rips Dr. Evil's pants, and he's like, I used to think you're crazy, but now I can see your nuts.
Yeah, that's funny.
I love it.
It's always like this.
Yeah, Austin Powers.
There's like a certain movie that I loved. He's like, let's shag now, shag later.
Yeah. I was always waiting for like part 4 to come out with I forget the son's name, but he plays. God, I can't even think of his name, the actor. But he was playing the son, right?
Yeah.
He was playing the son, and I was waiting for like the son to Scotty. Yeah, Scotty. Yeah, I was waiting for Scott to become the villain, and then like part 4, I was like, come on.
Yeah, it just stayed right there.
Yeah, it never happened.
He's like
that part. Me.
Oh, those funnies are funny. Those movies are funny.
It's joy to make those great movies. So Elvia, back to your music. I've seen some clips and some stuff of like you singing on stage with like younger ladies and stuff like that, young girls and stuff like that singing. So how important do you think it is to create like an atmosphere, a platform for young artists to sing and to do stuff like that? How important do you think that is for you?
It's important because I myself was in that position of first coming out and being like the new girl singing, or and some people are nice and some people are not nice. So I remember feeling like, you know what I mean? Like I remember feeling like, híjole, I don't know about this singer, or even from even like male singers, or it's weird, but
no, go ahead, be real. Be real.
I've felt that way before, where you're like the outcast, and it sucks. Like it sucks. So whenever I do meet other female singers, and at least like the younger ones coming up, it's kind of like, hey, been there, do it, don't be nervous, you got this type of You know, you gotta make people feel comfortable, even though sometimes it's like, no, you get what you give. No, you can't always have that mentality of like, oh, they treat me that way, I'm gonna treat them that way too. I'm gonna be that way too. Like, no, you kind of sometimes have to be like the bigger person and just, hey, we're all here. There's space for everybody. Let's all just kind of maneuver around each other and be happy.
Yeah. You know, I
Yeah.
really like how you said, like, you don't treat shit with shit, or, you didn't really say it
Yeah.
that way, but
But pretty much,
yeah,
yeah.
like you have to be a better person, and like kind of, people call it alchemy. You turn
Yeah.
something negative and flip it into something positive. And I really like that. And what's interesting is when you mentioned the guys, I immediately thought like, I'm pretty, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you probably experienced this where you're like, oh, this guy's kind of cool, but it's like, nah, he's got other intentions. Or like guys will promise something, like, okay, cool, but it's like, nah, you're not really looking out for me. You're trying to like hook up or something.
Yeah, I mean it could be that, or it could be of just another singer coming up, and this is a male singer, and it's like competition type of thing. Instead of it being like, oh, we're both singers, it's kind of like, I another singer type of thing, and it's like, you're a boy and I'm a girl, we sing different, or that type of feel of or like popularity type of thing. And it's like, no, there's gonna be people who like you, and there's gonna be people who don't like me that like you type of, like, it's just leave it there. You have the people who like you and they love you and support you, and be happy with that. Like, I'm not gonna take nothing from you.
That
You
part.
know what I mean?
That part.
It's that kind of thing with this industry. So I mean,
Yeah, the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And I always feel like, hope I didn't cut you off.
No.
But like, I always tell to people that I'm talking to, like, I do believe there's enough money out here for all of us to make it. Like, like you even said, like, there's room for all of us. Like, there's no need to like be scandalous, to be shady, to try and be nefarious. Like, there's enough for all of us to succeed out here. You just got to put the work in.
Yeah, and timing, I want to like, you have to be really patient, and everybody grows differently. Everybody has their own path. Everybody's going to grow differently. So there's artists that are coming out now and got on like bigger shows, or are doing faster, moving faster compared to like me. I've been doing this for 10 years already, and you know what I mean? And at the same time, you have to have that mentality of like, because it's not my time yet. Like right now, just enjoy the road, keep learning, keep seeing hey, congratulations to you. You're freaking getting up there. Bravo, vámonos, somebody. But yeah, like I mean, at least I think that way. Like, just take it slow. My time is going to come eventually, or my time's already been happening, but in different ways, not necessarily how that person is going. I've been getting in a different way, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's different levels of everything. It's just, maybe I'm getting higher up here compared to out here, or you know what I mean? Or some people are probably getting higher out here than up here. Up here is still down there.
Yeah, they might have the right circle around them.
Yeah.
And I always like to think like, it's an old saying, which is slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
And
patience.
Yes, and fast money brings fast problems. Mm-hmm. Right, and and usually fast money will go away just as quick as it came.
Yeah.
Right, as opposed to, and I've been learning and I've been listening as I get older. Like, a lot of people that we see that are successful, that have been doing it for a while, like
they've been doing
it for a while. Like,
they've been doing it for a while
before they even got noticed. And it's like, okay, so it's like you just have to kind of believe in yourself and just kind of just keep going, keep being persistent.
That part, don't stop.
And just keep going. And like, what's another thing I noticed is that like it's hard to look from the outside looking in, because like we're just kind of just going, and we kind of like are things changing? Is something happening? But the truth is, like, it is a uphill, that we are moving uphill. Like, things are happening better for us every time we move. It's just kind of hard to see it when you're in it, right? Yeah. As opposed to like if you're out it.
Yeah, especially because you're looking at everything around you instead of just being like, like the horses when they put the
blinders.
Yeah, we gotta just look at our path. and stop looking at everybody else's. Like everybody has their own little circle of life happening,
100%, 100%.
And yeah, like you said, patience and just patience. To me, I always look at it as patience.
Yes, got to be patient and hardworking and keep that faith.
And don't, like you said, don't stop and have that faith. And yeah, I look at pictures and stuff and like of before, and I've moved up in certain areas and I've grown a lot compared to how, like, when I look at back, I'm like, oh man, I remember that. Now it's like, I know to some people it might not seem a lot, but or even to ourselves, sometimes you're like, man, I feel like I'm getting nowhere, but we're getting somewhere. You just can't stop. Just don't stop. Keep going. Keep trying. Keep learning more. Keep creating more, and we're getting something out of it regardless. Like I said, I might not ever blow up, but I'm still doing what I like to do. As long as I'm still singing and doing what I love, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm happy. Let's go sing.
Yeah, and it reminds me, of two things. I remember we were talking about the blinders, right? I have a book called 10 Things Your Parents Should Talk to You, but in my second book for that, I have a chapter called Crippled by Comparison. So it's like sometimes people get lost in like, oh, like, why aren't I doing as good as they are, And it's like, don't compare yourself. Your story is different. Your path is different. Your life is different. You know what I mean? And you, as a professional, like, this is all you do, right? All you do is sing, right? You're not packing groceries in the grocery store, right?
I mean, I have normal jobs.
Okay.
But I try to make the singing my full time. Yeah.
Yes. So there's people who are not doing what you're doing. So it's another perspective to look at, right? There's people who's like, man, I want to sing, but I'm not doing it. But it's like, hey, you know what? Like, you're out here doing it. You're grinding. You're getting hired for gigs. People know you. You know what I mean? So I think that's also like another perspective to think about. It's like, which is hard to think about. It's like, I'm out here doing it. I think one of the hardest things, and I was talking to, shout out to Ipiani Lockhart about this, is believing in yourself.
Yeah.
And doing it. There's people who probably have amazing talent, but they don't have enough faith in themselves to pursue their dreams.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to give kudos for doing that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. And it's, I'm working on a song and I'm hopefully releasing it soon. And it's called Wait. I didn't write the song. I had a friend, somebody wrote it for me and, gave it to me. And, at first I would listen to it and I would be like, okay, it sounds good. I love it. I love the vibe of it, but I didn't write it. So to me, I was like, I don't know what he was feeling when he wrote it, or like if it's about love or what is it about. And I've had this song for like 2 years already.
Wow.
And eventually I got like the music made for it good and it's mastered and everything. And I'm like, what's the meaning to this? Like, what is the meaning to this song? Like, what does it mean to me? And it's called Wait. And it's pretty much, like patience. Good things come to those who wait, you know? And going back to what you were saying, that song reflects on that. That's when I was like, wait, this song could be anything, any situation, like a relationship, a job, a career. You try to go do things the faster way, it's not gonna happen, or it's not gonna go the right way. You gotta wait. Same thing with like it could be a drug problem. It could be a alcoholism. You're so worried about this drug or whatever it is that you want all the time, because you gotta wait and like let that go. Only you. It's up to you.
Yeah.
If you don't pursue that, if you don't pursue the change, if you don't pursue it, nobody's gonna do it for you. Like, it's all up to you. And that's how the song reminded me of what you were speaking about: self-love and waiting on it. And only you have control of you. So if you wanna be out there, you're gonna have to put in the work.
100%.
You. I've had people like, how are you doing the in La La La? And I'm like, well, I have to be out there. There's plenty of times I sing for free to get that exposure. I'm like, you're not gonna right away go out there and be like, oh, here, let me pay you to sing if nobody's ever heard what music you have or what you do. Like, you gotta put in the work. Go perform at over here. Go do this for free. Go do that. Like, you gotta pay your dues.
That part, you gotta put the work in.
You gotta put the work in, and it's all up to you. And yeah, so stay tuned for that song. That should be out soon. It's called Wait, and it's about you. You gotta wait on yourself. You gotta do it for yourself. Only you are gonna put that work in, and only you're gonna make it happen. True. Of course, God's gonna put those resources around there. It's just you have to want to use them or know how to use them or ask to use them, or
Yeah, that part. Yes, and it reminds me. It makes me think about like a lot of people get caught up in like why isn't that my time and stuff like that. And I realize that opportunities will come, but are you ready for those opportunities? And I think that's where the divine timing, the godly timing comes in, is that God's basically put us in the gym of life and in our career to prepare for when that opportunity comes, you're ready.
And honestly, sometimes you're ready and then nothing happens. And then there's times that you're not ready and it comes at you, and sometimes you just kind of like, fuck it, let's take it, let's do it, and go from there. Like when I got the opportunity to be with Round 2 Music, I didn't know anything about contracts or labels or none of that. And I was just like, you know what, God, thank you, Jesus, let's do this. And I mean, there was obviously the goods and the bads, but you learned from it. And if I would have never took that opportunity there and then, I probably wouldn't have been putting music out yet or experiencing all the things that I'm experiencing and learning everything that I'm learning. So even though sometimes you're not prepared, it's like if you have that gut feeling, that you got to go with that gut feeling.
The gut feeling all day. All day.
That gut feeling is never going to fail. So yeah.
Not the bubble guts either, people.
Yeah,
not the bubble guts. That different.
Hey, but if the bubble guts are you feeling the bubble guts, you better go.
So whatever type of gut feeling you've got, follow it. Follow it. Follow it. Yep. So I think believing in ourselves, I think is definitely the key for pursuing anything that we want in life. Pursuing anything we want in life, because you only have one life to live. So it's like if you're not pursuing your dreams, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yep. Got to challenge yourself.
That's another big thing.
I look at it as a challenge.
Good. Very good.
Yeah.
You're a mother, a parent.
Yes.
So what's some of the important things that you like to tell your daughters, as advice from living in this world? What's some things that you tell them?
I exactly that. Believe in yourself. Like, things are going to be scary regardless, but you have to believe in the fact that you can do it. I always tell them they're smart, and to not let anybody bring them down, because sometimes people tell you certain things constantly, you're gonna believe in that. So I have to tell them constantly that believe in yourself, you're smart, you can do this. And to just try. Like, you're gonna fail. If you're gonna fail, you're gonna fail, but just try again. Like Aaliyah said, dust yourself up and try again.
Okay.
So I just, that's pretty much what I tell them all the time. To just try. What are you gonna lose? If you're gonna mess up, oh well, try it again.
Gotcha.
Or same thing, and it's in every situation. Sometimes we're doing arts and crafts, and it's gonna look ugly, and I'm like, just try. Or with food, I don't want to eat that, it's nasty. Try it. If you don't like it, okay, then don't eat it. But if you're never gonna know,
if you don't try.
Yeah, and that same thing with like life. You're never gonna know if you can or if you can't if you don't try. So I'm always just like, just do it, try, and like believe in yourself. Always believe in yourself. Because I'm like, you could accomplish anything you want. I'm like, it might take a little while sometimes, but you can do it.
Yeah, you never know. That's what I think is amazing about human beings, is like, you never know what could be done. And then I always realize that seeing what other people do, kind of like, okay, yeah, I could do amazing things because look what they've done before.
Yeah.
You know. And you said you have like a 15-year-old?
Yeah.
Is she boy crazy yet?
Yes, that's like my issue. I'm like, okay, it's okay to be boy crazy. I get it, but focus, you know, like there's so much more than boys. Focus on the things that you like to do as well. I know growing up like in a Hispanic culture and at least not me too much, but my parents and their grandparents and like how cultures and everything, it's like, oh, you're just born to get married and have children type of thing, you know? And it's like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. Nowadays you can still be married and do that, but you could pursue your career, do this, do that, you know, and still have your husband. Back then it was just like, no, las mujeres son to get married and have children and take care of the children, and that's it. And it's like, no, like there's a more in the world to that. Like, so that's why I always tell her to, like, don't be just too boy crazy. It's okay to be boy crazy. We get it, but there's do what you like as well, not just what he wants or what it's supposed to be like. You know, we're in different times, so it doesn't have to necessarily be that way unless that's what you want it to be. But
okay.
But yeah, because you know some women, you know, they won't have the family, and I get it, and that's what, you know, family first. But then again, there's those who have like they like music or they like art or architecture or anything, and they want to pursue that. So I'm always like, pursue what you think you like. Try it out. It might be your thing. It's gonna change out through life, but do other stuff for yourself.
Okay.
And just being you know, staying there.
Gotcha.
Don't just think of that.
Gotcha. What's it makes me think, you know, what's your thoughts on, like, you know, we talk about like, you know, the family and stuff like that. Like, what's your take on, you know, the whole family thing with the husband, wife, kids, blah blah blah. Like, what's your opinion on that type of situation? What's your thoughts on it?
I mean,
Because I know it's gotta be hard as an artist.
Yeah, I love family. I love family time. Like in my family or just like in general.
Just in general, like, you know, like your thoughts on it. Because I know it gets hard as an artist because sometimes as artists is like you have to travel a lot, you have to be away a lot. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's always family first. Of course, singing, besides it being like my passion and like what I love doing, it's still a job. So when it could be bring your kid to work day, I'm gonna bring my kids.
Gotcha.
So if I make it work, if it's gonna be events where I know I can have my children there, let's go, vámonos. I'll bring the family. But when it's not, you have to like, oh, you know, thank God I have like my family, and they're a big help with like, oh, I need a babysitter, or my kids' dads are in their lives, so there's times that, you know, they go with their dads and or things like that. But I mean, it's important to like balance it out and make it fun, like together. Like my little girl, my 9-year-old, she loves to sing. She recently had her first gig.
Okay.
I had a show like 2 weekends ago at a BFW in Colton, and it was gonna be a fall fest, family friendly event. And my daughter goes to like rehearsals with us sometimes, and there's times that she's feeling it, so she's like, Mom, put a mic up for me, and she'll backup sing for me, and she's great. And for this show, I told her, I was like, you want to be my backup singer? And she looked at me like, for real? And I'm like, yes, for real.
Yeah, for real.
So for real. And she's like, okay. And she did it. She did her thing. She backup sang for me. I obviously paid her too. And
she got paid too?
Yes.
Oh,
that was like your first gig. What?
Damn.
Your first show. And she was all happy. But it's important for me, like the family, balancing it. And like I said, if I could have the family there all the time, let's do it. But obviously you can't do it all the time. So that's when you kind of have to keep it business.
That part.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know, I think, when you're coming, I think you're talking to your man, right? When you're coming. So like, how important is it for your partner, or your boyfriend, your husband, spouse, whatever, to kind of understand like this music business, this stuff that you have to do? Like, how important is that? Because, you know,
it's very important because it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard. even with like relationships, you're around so many people, or um, somebody looked at you some way, or somebody spoke to you in a certain way, your spouse is gonna be like, hey, hold up,
That part.
type of thing, you know. But I mean, obviously, I get you get used to being around a lot of people and how to handle situations, and he's a big help. I always say your family's like also your team. He actually like manages the band, and
Okay.
he helps me with my gigs, certain gigs. When it comes to like the band, he's like the one handling all, like if we have to take our own sound, or even with booking gigs. I used to be the one who used to book my gigs all the time, and it's so much helpful for him to be there as well to help me, especially as a woman. Sometimes people don't, they're like, I type of thing, you know,
Yeah.
because you're a girl. That's when it's like, no, contact him,
He'll deal
reach
with
out
it.
to him. And yeah, he's like, let me be that person, because I'm nice. I'm too nice. He's like, you let people step all over you sometimes. And I mean, like I said, it's always cool to give a helping hand, but then there's times that it's like, business is business, honey. You know what I mean? So he's like, let me be the get bad guy. You just worry about
You sing.
the singing
Yeah.
and, you know, other stuff. And I love it. I love that he's a great help and he helps me. So it's, family's important to in this as well. You know, of course, it's like your business, your job, but your family is what helps you throughout everything.
Yeah, and I guess not all family members can be a part of it. The right
Yeah.
family members can help elevate, and
Yeah.
people that you can trust. And shout out to you for knowing how to delegate, because that's really hard to like, hey, I need to. There's a lot on my plate. Let me give it to someone else to make it easier for me, so I can be a better performer.
Yeah.
Right. Better at what I do best.
Yeah.
Right. Dear God. There's someone bumping some music outside the window. I think.
Get it.
Yeah,
Music. We
he's bumping
love
some
music.
But speaking of music, if I, you know, kick a little beat for you, a little musical
Of
beat,
course.
would you mind singing along to the
No,
beat?
of course I'll sing it.
Would you be interested?
Play something.
I'm gonna kick a beat from my mouth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hopefully this person who's outside who's bumping his music, you know who you are when you watch this video. You know who you are. But yeah, if I kick a little beat, like a little beatbox for you, would you
Okay.
mind improvising
No,
some
let's do
melodies over
this.
it?
I like this.
You ready?
Yeah.
Freestyle session commence.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Mm, 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 mm,
We in San Bernardino, in the Dino, at the Empire Podcast. Here's beatboxing a rhythm, and I'm gonna sing along. The music stopped playing so I could hear loud. Oh my God, I hear you loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Woo. We gonna keep jamming because we in our fields. Ooh. My name is Elvia Cadena. Make sure you give me a follow on my Instagram. Oh, and on my website. We just put it out. So let me tell you, come on out. Go and check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Woo. The Empire Podcast. Get it, Antonio.
Thank you, Elvia.
No problem, no problem.
Thank you. We like to have fun here, right? We like to have
Yeah.
fun and let people get a taste of what you do out here, right? So, you've been on music label before, right?
Yes.
Stuff like that. So what's your thoughts on indie label versus major label? What's your thoughts on that?
Indie label versus major labels?
Yeah. Would you consider being on an independent label if you had an opportunity, or would you consider being on a major label if you had an opportunity?
Both.
Okay.
Like both. Like right now I'm an independent artist. That's what I'm going for. I'm trying to just see what I can do for myself on my own. And of course, if any major label hits me up and if it's right, then let's take that chance, obviously if it's right. But I mean, either or. But for now, indie.
Got you.
For now, let's just try to see what a girl could do on her own.
That part.
And that's what I've been doing so far. I just got a website, www.elviacadena.com, and that's where I'm gonna be putting like all my own things. I'm trying to release my own music under me, and just to see where it takes me, and go from there.
Yeah. Is there any type of major record label that you would like to be a part of? Is there any specific ones?
I mean, there's plenty of them. Columbia okay. Records would be like a cool one. I used to have a lot of CDs from Columbia Records and all that, so I'm like, one day.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's plenty of them. It just all depends where
the contract
what they got to offer, and yeah.
Would you be open to a 360 deal?
I would.
Okay.
Or I mean, yeah. I mean, I have my last contract. It was something similar.
Okay.
It just like you said, it all depends what they offer, what they have to offer, and for now, I just want to do it on my own and be on there for a while. Like I said, until the time is right or the time comes. But for now, I'm trying to see where I can get myself to by myself.
Yes. And I've learned a lot that right now, a lot of major labels, from what I've heard, they go for people who've done all the groundwork themselves, right? So like, you've done all the work out here, and they're like, well, she's got a following, so we can't lose already. She's already put the work in.
Yeah.
So it's the investment's worth it, right? As opposed to like, let me pick this artist, build them up, do all the work, spend all this money on them.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, Elvia's already got a following. She's got this, sound already. Like, we're just, throw some money at her, so that way she has more funding for it.
Yeah, that part. So that's where the creativeness part starts kicking in even more, because you're like, woo, let's do this.
Yeah. 2 questions, and I'm sorry, they're kind of cliche. God. Sorry, guys, I don't want to go through these cliche questions, but they're coming to me right now. And it's a 2-parter, right? So for your music videos, it's got the old school, like, Chicano vibe, right? And so do you get to choose how you want your music videos to come out, or do you let someone else choose them, how that style is, or do you guys kind of talk?
No, yeah.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Go ahead.
I choose the story of like what I want. Except for one of them, for the Have I Sinned, what's in Spanish, Dime si he pecado. They wanted it just to be like me just singing somewhere. We're gonna choose an area where it looks pretty. It's more like a visual of just you singing somewhere nice type of thing. Okay. But for the other songs that I've have music videos for, I had the idea of like, let's do this and let's do that, and I want this, I want that. So it was pretty cool for it to be able to put my creativity in there of how I wanted it to look or what I want, So those were. I like to choose what. I like to get creative with it.
Yeah, you have to, especially it's your brand.
Yeah, it's
your brand.
And I really like the vintage looks. I really always say I was born in the wrong era because I love the clothing from, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s.
Rockabilly stuff.
Yeah. I love the backup dancers with the gloves and the, like the Diana, the Supreme stuff and all that. So, and And like you said, like the crybaby, the grease, that look. So it's cool to kind of be able to mix now with a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like to be creative with it.
You know what it's making me think of, and it's making me think like, oh man, she probably would have been perfect in the I Love Lucy era.
I love it. I love it.
And I was thinking maybe that'd be, I'm not sure what song would be perfect with that. Maybe that'd be kind of a cool concept to make a music video where it's like an I Love Lucy.
Lucy theme.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I'll let you think about that, see how that comes together in any possible way. What's one of the biggest accomplishments you would love to see happen in your life?
One of the biggest accomplishments is to hit like bigger stages.
Okay. Let's throw some names out there.
Let's say like to perform at the Greek Theater or where else? Like the Hollywood Bowl or bigger stages. I mean, I've performed at like the Toyota Arena and things like that, and to travel, to get other areas to know me, not just California.
Throw some names out there. Throw some names.
Oh, I would love to go to Japan.
Okay.
I know they have like a big lowrider scene out there and all that. So Japan would be like one of the places I would like to go to the UK. Even here in the United States, it'd be cool to hit some certain areas. Mexico, Texas. I would like to go to like Chicago or New York. Areas, different travel out of California.
Yeah, maybe an Elvia tour.
Even Mexico, because like I said, I have family out there, and I sing Spanish, so of course I would love to freaking go sing in Mexico one day. Yeah,
that's probably a lot closer and easier to get done probably than we think it is.
Yeah,
maybe like a San Diego. Mexico type of tour because it's like they're like right.
Yeah, I definitely wanna do a tour sometime. Once I have like more music out, and I haven't released anything since last February. So right now I've just been like working on new music, and I have it there. It's ready. It's getting mastered. And,
okay.
I'm just excited because, like I said, I haven't released nothing since last year, so I'm excited.
Got you. So the album's already ready to go?
Yeah.
What's the name of the upcoming album?
No, it's not ready to go then. I don't have a name. But it's on the works. Of course, I want to do the singles.
Okay.
Release 2-3 singles and then release the album.
Okay.
So
what's the name of some of the singles?
I have Wait, and then
Wait's on that album. Okay.
Yeah, Wait's on that album. It's like an intro song. And then I have another one called Hey You that I wrote. And it's about when you meet somebody and how it makes you feel and growing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a love song. So I'm thinking maybe Valentine's Day around there, it would be a good time to release that song.
Yeah.
And just life.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
Elvia, thank you for being on The Empire.
Thank you for having me.
Sharing your story with us. What's something that most people don't know about you? Maybe even close family and friends don't know about you. And it could be anything, like anything that comes to mind. It could be like...
that people don't know about me?
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be like, I don't like Vans anymore. It could be something simple.
Híjole. Something that people don't know. I can't think of anything. I feel like I'm pretty out there. That people don't know. Something that people don't know about me, might not know about me. I'm a little crazy. I'm kidding.
Okay, we knew that. Wait. We know that.
I honestly can't think. I don't like Menudo.
Okay.
I don't like Menudo.
Tell us why.
I don't like the meat. It's too like
gooey.
Yeah, like I mean, I'll eat if it has hominy and like the caldo, the juice of it. Mm-hmm. But if I could choose like something else, I will choose something else. I'm not a menudo person.
Put tofu inside instead?
Yeah. Or I've seen people use mushrooms instead of like meat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, mushrooms sound good.
Gotcha.
I just don't think you'll give it the same flavor because I feel like the carne gives it that flavor too, you know? So I don't know, but I don't like menudo. I don't think nobody really knows that.
Got you.
Yeah.
She just lost 1,000 fans.
You're a Mexican and you don't like menudo?
That part. Don't you hate when people probably put people in boxes? Oh, you don't like you're Mexican, you don't like spicy food?
Right? You're like, hey.
It's like, okay, like I didn't know there's qualifications for being this person.
Exactly. I'm like,
okay.
oh, okay.
I remember a friend of mine, and I think other people that I know too, they like they would get flack because they're like, oh, you're Mexican or you're a Latino, but you don't speak Spanish. And like, they would get like all this flack, you know? It's like,
and you're like, hey, it happens. My kids don't, my little girl hardly speaks Spanish. And now I'm like, sheesh, I messed up. So she's going to be how they call it, the no sabo kid. She's going to be that kid. But I mean, hopefully she grows into it.
You just gotta keep talking to her in Spanish.
I just gotta keep talking to her. Yeah. She understands it. I talk to her and tell her, but she's just kind of like, I'll just respond to you in English, Mom.
So that's all I can do. It's talking to you in English. Yeah. Well, I guess keep talking to her. It'll catch on. She's still young too, right?
Yeah. She's gonna be 9 Saturday.
Wow.
My birthday's tomorrow, and then she's my Dia de los Muertos baby. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So there's a back to back. You guys can have like a big party that whole weekend then, huh?
Yeah.
Like a big party, like celebrating everything.
We'll just go out and do stuff.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's so awesome. Well, I know you mentioned that, you're working on the album, it's getting finished up. But are there any other current projects that you're working on, whether it's like musically or anything else in general? Is there any other current projects you're working on?
Anything else that I'm working on? I'm trying to, I was working on a movie. They filmed them during summer. It's called Cholo Zombies.
Can you say it again?
Cholo Zombies.
Okay.
Cholo Zombies. They're pretty funny. Chicano Hollywood, shout out to them. Honestly, whatever comes at me, I'm up for acting to do that. That'd be pretty cool. But I haven't really got into anything so far right now. I've just been focusing on trying to get my music out because I have, like I said, the last time I released something was last February. So I'm really like, man, I need to put some music out there, content. I do want to I just want to have like footage. So even before the album's released, I want to, I'm working on getting like live performances out or, doing a little bit of that. So getting myself into more performing. That's one of the projects that I'm working on, trying to get into different
venues and stuff like that?
And my album coming out, it still has like that oldies feel, but it's more like R&B-ish.
Okay.
But like I said, I have to mix it with everything, I can't just stick to one. So I do have some music that's in there that's like more R&B-ish. So I want to get into different shows compared to the stuff that I've been doing the most, like the lowrider shows and all that. I want to be able to venture more. So that's what I'm working on. That's some of the projects that I'm working on, getting into different types of shows.
Which is probably like open up a door for like opening up for Erykah Badu or something.
Imagine. Speak it into existence.
That's what we have to do. We have to speak it. That's why I told you to say those names. I want you to say the names of where you want to go.
Yeah, Erykah Badu would be somebody who I'd love to open up for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know what could happen. I think that's another beautiful thing in life is that you just never know what could happen by just going out there. And, you mentioned this Cholo Zombies, you said?
Cholo Zombies, yeah.
So what is it, kind of like a horror comedy or what is that?
Yeah, so they're like Cholo Zombies.
And people like killing
them?
They
got infected. And, but there's like a story to it. So you could check them out on Chicano Hollywood app. It's in there, check it out, and it's pretty cool. I'm just a backup singer.
Okay.
I come out as like a backup singer. I don't really speak too much on it, but they're working on it, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun
Okay.
to be able to do that. Yeah.
And you're open to doing more acting stuff
Oh,
too.
definitely.
Okay.
One thing that one of my goals and I would love to work on is like the voice characters, like for cartoons or anything
Okay,
like that.
voice acting.
Voice acting. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Voice acting. That's something I would really I like I like to imitate. I'm good at imitating. Not crazy, but I can do a little something.
All right, well, give us a little taste.
I could laugh like SpongeBob.
Give us a taste. Let's hear your SpongeBob impersonation. That's pretty good. That was pretty good.
So I like the whole voice acting. It's always been something that I'm like, man, I know I could do something like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, that's something a lot of people don't know I can do. Laugh like SpongeBob.
Boom, there it is. We got it.
I was like, wait, yeah.
Yeah, voice acting is super cool, and it's kind of limitless because you can kind of do anything. Like,
Yeah.
I think the voice actor for Bart Simpson is a woman.
It was a female, yeah, and she did the voice for a bunch of different other ones, yeah. So I'm like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big industry. You made me immediately think of because I was watching like an interview with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And he was talking about like when he did the voice for the genie for Aladdin, and they said he's like after a while he's like, can I try a couple things? And they're like, yeah. And then he did like 3 hours of just kind of like experimenting. And the cool thing about like the voice acting, and I have a feeling that you probably want to go down maybe like the comedy route, maybe of voice acting, is that you can kind of just like explore and be like as expressive as you want, and it's the animators that kind of take it to like the next level.
Yeah, you mess around and they're gonna draw around that.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I think I'll probably see you in the future doing some stuff like that. Right?
I like the voice acting stuff. Mm-hmm.
Check out. Wait for the IMDb. Elvia Cadena coming up soon.
Hey.
I want to thank you again for being on the Empire. Let's say 100 years pass by, 250 years pass by. What would you like your empire to look like? Whether it's music, family, not liking Menudo. What would you like your empire to look like when people see you 250 years from now?
My empire. I want my empire to be love, life. People look back and be like humble heart, loving soul, singer. Never give up. I always think of Rosie, the Riveter. How the girl with the si se puede.
Mm-hmm.
So that like power. Never giving up type of si se puede. Strong, loving, that kind of statement for people to think of me that for they hear me, they feel all of that through the music, through life.
Yes, I love that. Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, I can.
Si se puede.
Yeah. Maybe think of the Nutty Professor. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. No, it's beautiful because you can. We can. Whatever you believe you can and cannot do is true.
Yeah.
That makes sense. If you believe you can do it, you can. It makes me think of a line that George Lopez wrote for his show. He's like, we're Mexican, not Mexicans.
Mexicans, yep. We're Mexicans.
We're humans, not Anyway, yeah, we can if we believe we can, and that's the number one state. And sometimes we have to look beyond what's possible and make the impossible possible type of situation.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Elvia, thank you so much for being on the Empire.
Thank you for having me.
Can you please let everybody know how they can find you, support you, all that jazz? Can you let everybody know where they can find you and support you?
Of course. Well, once again, my name's Elvia Cadena. You guys could follow me on Instagram under Elvia Chain, TikTok, Elvia Chain, all other digital platforms, Spotify, iTunes, all that Google stuff. Elvia Cadena, and you guys could make sure to check out my website, www.elviacadena.com. So that's where you guys can find me.
Awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll have everything in the description, so that way you guys can just click it and go there or copy paste, however it works. You guys can find her that way. That may make it easier for those who might be like, huh? Yeah. What did she say? Rewind. So we'll do that. Every time you say Elvia Chain, I think you say Elvia Chang. And I'm like, is she like Chinese somewhere?
That's funny because a lot of people think that, and whenever I say Elvia Chain, they're writing and they're like, you're not popping out, and it's chain or you know? And I'm like, no, chain is cadena.
Yeah, like a necklace chain or like...
Yeah, like a chain is a cadena. So Elvia, I'm like, we got to keep it bilingual for the bilinguals.
That part.
Elvia Chain, but that's Elvia, you know, like 2 chains.
Yeah, exactly.
Elvia Chain, but because my last name's Cadena. So they're like, oh, duh, Cadena Chain. I'm like, yeah, Elvia Chain.
I got it. Just to clarify, now everybody knows, okay?
Now you know, I'm not. Even though sometimes people do think I'm like mixed or something, I'm like, no, I'm Mexican.
Like, are you quarter Chinese or?
Honey, I do long nail for you. Only $6 more, honey.
Boom. There it is.
$6 more.
That part. We got her. She had a side job right there.
Right?
Side job. So she hit us with 2 voices. She hit us with SpongeBob. She hit us with a Korean nail salon lady. What else you got in there, Elvia? What else you got in there?
Híjole, I could do a lot.
Hit us with another one. Hit us with another one before we get out of here.
Another one? Híjole. You put me in the spot.
Can you do like abuelita? Like an old school abuelita?
Old school abuelita? How would my have grandma called? Talk to me. Oh, my grandma, rest in peace, my grandma. Old school abuelita? No, mija. Just the mijas?
Yeah, that part is mijas for days.
Mija. Yeah.
Awesome.
I have to focus on it. You
Got
put
you.
me on the spot. You can't.
I know. I keep putting her on the spot.
You know, when people put me on the spot, I blank.
That part.
I'm like, I feel like the goats when they scare them and they're like stiff.
That part. Yeah. She still doesn't give us the Inland Empire artists, you know. So I got her. Oh, snaps. I'm
gonna have to come back for that one.
Yeah. To be continued. But
you
know, it kind of comes naturally. So again, thank you, Elvia. Thank everybody who's been who watched up to this point and followed. If you guys didn't already, if you guys like what you saw, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the Empire. If you guys want to support, we have CASHAPP, which is the Empire, THEE Empire Podcast. We also have other links for PayPal and everything in the description if you guys want to support, if you believe our work. Other than that, you know, Elvia, if you got anything else to say, you got anything else you want to tell the people before we get out of here?
Don't give up. Keep doing it.
Don't give up.
Smile.
Smile, yeah. Laugh at life, you guys. Laugh at life, because otherwise life is going to laugh at you. So make sure to laugh at life every once in a while. And I want to thank you guys, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode, all right?
Bye.
Peace. I said